Salut, salut, salut. Nous sommes en train de tenter une expérience. On veut se connecter avec le frère Gervais, mais on a des petits soucis de connexion. Donc, on va encore faire une autre tentative. Donc, j'attends donc que le frère Gervais m'envoie l'invitation et je vais donc pouvoir l'accepter pour voir comment ça va fonctionner. Voilà, donc, euh, on a des petits soucis. Je vois que l'invitation est là. Je vais donc l'accepter. Je vais donc l'accepter. Bon, là, il l'ajoute. Donc, on attend euh, que. Voilà. Donc, l'invitation a été acceptée. Hein. Je vois que ça me dit adding.
Ok, c'est bon, Tata Poggi. Donc, il fallait juste
Bon,
que nous
voilà.
préparions.
Donc, le frère Gervais est là.
En fait,
J'espère que vous le voyez.
laisse-moi ajuster parce qu'il fallait que j'ajuste pour me rassurer qu'on avait la bonne. C'était une histoire de position. Hein. On
Ah,
n'était pas
d'accord.
une signe dans la
Bon,
position.
voilà.
Donc, laisse-moi juste ajuster
Donc, voilà.
aussi. Il fallait arranger la position. Donc, maintenant, je dois ajuster la position moi aussi de mon côté. Ok.
Bon. Bonsoir à vous, à ceux, tous
Hein?
ceux qui vont avoir cette
Bonsoir,
opportunité de nous
bonsoir.
suivre ce soir. Comme
Voilà.
nous l'avons promis avec le frère Birangui, Mfumu Birangui, gouverneur de l'État du Niadi. Ici, nous sommes bien dans le Conseil fédéral Congo.
Tout à fait.
Et moi, vous me connaissez, c'est Bernard Pongi, Mikaya Pongi 7, gouverneur des États de la Bouenza et de la Lekumu, sans pourtant oublier le frère Kaï, qui gouverne, qui est le gouverneur de l'État de Mpangala. Bien sûr, le frère Kaï est assisté de notre maman, que nous appelons la maman de l'USK, que nous appelons Olga. Et nous n'avons pas oublié nos deux rois du royaume de l'Ango souverain insoumis, Sa Majesté Tikera Zinga Premier, Sa Majesté Makoso 5. Donc ce soir, comme déjà, je crois que ceux qui m'ont suivi le matin, on avait promis de tenir une conversation par rapport au sommet qui se passe aux États-Unis, Amérique, l'Afrique. Et donc, on va essayer d'aller dans la profondeur de ce sommet avec le frère Birangui. Et nous allons donc faire ce live en français et en anglais. Donc, rapidement, je vais donc introduire en anglais rapidement. As we promised in the morning, we'll be doing this kind of interview. 101 is a kind of chat between myself. I'm representing the state of Bouenza and the state of Lekumu in the Congo Federation. My brother, which is Birangi, who representing the state of Nyadi, and you will never forget our brother Kai, who is the governor of state of Mpangala, and Sa Majesty Tikea the first and Sa Majesty Tikea Marcoso fifth, who they are the king of Luango. Birangi is the governor of Nyadi. It's a governor. So we're gonna be talking about the summit that's happening in the United States of America between the African country and the United States of America. We'll be going on both language, French and English. So I'm going to just let my brother Birangi to kick in. Go ahead, my brother.
Thank you very much. The governor of the state of Lekumu and the state of Bouenza, the governor Bernard Pongi, Mikaya Pongi 7. Thank you again for the opportunity. Je dis aussi merci à nos peuples, les Congo, aux Africains, à ceux qui se battent pour la souveraineté de leur peuple. Merci. Nous allons parler un peu plus en anglais parce que ce message est directement adressé à la Maison-Blanche, au président Biden, au gouvernement américain et aux Américains même eux-mêmes. Donc, vraiment, soyez indulgents. Nous devons parler en anglais ici un peu plus pour que le message puisse passer. Écoute, thank you very much again, my brother. Thank you very much, my brother governor. Thank you for everything that you have been doing for the past 5 years, trying to fight to liberate our people. Tonight, we want to address directly the U.S.-African Summit about what actually going on, what we have seen, what we have knowledge of, and what we have heard, and what the way it's been basically happening here in the United States. I'm in the state of Georgia. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and I want to take account and also give the perspective through the Congo Federation, which is the 55th country of Africa, to the auto-determination of our people, have decided to liberate themselves. But I want to say something about the way it's being presented here in America, which is different than what we're looking at on the international front, on the international media, or even the social media, even the social American media. It's not presented the same way, and we have to address that. We have to address that. Brother Pungi.
So, as you know that the United States of America has invited what they have called here African leader, 49 leader they're talking here. But we did ask ourselves that question. What was the criteria that allowed the United States of America to select this between quote leader, right? As we know, the United States of America is the most democratic country in the world, right? The United States of America is praising for freedom of thought, freedom of speech, human rights, and we believe that the United States will always think about what make people in life, right? Like respect the dignity of the people, the respect of the rule of law, and especially about human rights, corruption, and so on, right? These are the value that make the United States of America. And this is the functionality of the United States of America. So the question here is, what was the criteria that allowed the United States of America to bring in the territory about the summit, talking about the future, talking about the diaspora, talking about the economy, talking about peace? That's a question there. And we're getting a lot of questions from our people, the Congo. They are in the Congo land. They just want to know, right? And on the summit, you are talking about the diaspora. What were the criteria did you put in place to select those people? You talk about civil society. What was the criteria did you select those people to come to talk about the life of millions of Africans? We have our own problem there, and especially for us, the Congo people, we don't belong anymore. We don't belong in the Republic of Congo, and Mr. Swing so cannot represent us. And the United States of America knows better who is Sassou So. We call him the devil, right? So really, our people was very disappointed when we see the United States of America ambassador going to shake the hand of Sassou Nguesso, inviting him to the summit. So what was your criteria? So I just want to know. Probably we're gonna play a little bit this video. We're gonna hear, and then I will let my brother Irangi to give his comment about the criteria that the United States of America decided to bring these people to the summit, right? So I'm gonna just play this video quickly. Let's see what the United States of America said here.
Summit, I wanted to ask about the invite list. Earlier this year for the Summit of the Americas, the administration did not invite countries such as Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua because of concerns about human rights and democracy. But on the invite list this year, or this week for the African Summit, you have countries like Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, and Equatorial Guinea, where the administration has also expressed concerns about human rights and democracy issues in those countries. Can you walk us through sort of the discrepancies there? Because the administration has a lower bar for human rights in Africa than countries listed here.
So I just want to, because she was not talking on a microphone, so it was kind of hard to understand what question she was asking. So she's asking the invited list, which is between quote, the African leader that came to the US for the summit. What was the criteria did the US did put in place on the inviting list? Because we know that there is in a certain nation, there is a problem with a democracy, there is a human rights issue. It's mean like there is a dictator, there is crime are being committed. So I just want to know which country did you bring in, right? That's a question the journalist was asking. So we're gonna hear now the answer. We're gonna come back in French.
Common bar for human rights the world over. The way that we went through the invites for the African Leaders Summit was to do so in close consultation with the African Union. And there are 4 countries that are currently suspended from membership in the African Union. They were not invited. There's 1 country with whom we don't have normal diplomatic relations, Eritrea. They were not invited, and everyone else was invited. And we will, of course, speak to the universal values of human rights, democracy, good governance, anti-corruption over the course of this summit. But that's how we ended up with the invite list for the African Leaders Summit. It was because of the institutional engagement we had with the African Union in designing not just who would be invited to the summit, but what the substance of the agenda would be for the summit. So, for example, the president's first session on Thursday will be...
I just want to stop right there, Brother Biran. Can you go ahead?
Yes. So this is where he caught our ears and eyes for the Congo Federation, those who represent today 2.5 million people, the original, the native people, the autochthon people of our lands. We was kind of shocked to hear that United States of America have decided to bring some of the worst ruthless dictator in the world to Washington, going by a list made by the African Union. That kind of surprised us because we thought that the president of the United States or the government of the United States will vet which leaders, because they don't have the same, they didn't do the same thing in their own country over there. So it's not the same situation. So they took basically the list of the African Union of 49 countries that the African Union picked, and they just let all of them come into the United States, to Washington, to represent Africa. That was shocking to us because we live in the United States myself as the governor of the state of Niali today, and somebody who was allowed to live in this country to a refugee status at first. I was shocked to learn that the president, the actual president of the United States, President Biden, went by the list of the African Union, who sent a pack of dictators in Washington, D.C., without almost being vetted. And the one that we're talking about specifically is the so-called, he called himself President of the Republic of Congo, which is the most ruthless dictator. He's been there for over 40 years, who have killed over 4 million of our native people, the Congo people. This is the reason why today we are 2 different countries. The difference is we did not understood how these people can pass through the borders of the United States. He came with his son, which is the one that President of France, Macron, came here to basically clean up, prepare basically the road for all these African dictators, and in particular for Denis Sassou Nguesso, which is the most ruthless, who have killed over 4 million people. So this man came with his son, Denis Christin Nguesso, which is the one that France, it seems like Macron want to replace the father with. So we are in a position where our people have recouped their sovereignty, have asked for separation from the Republic of Congo, because that for over 40 years they imposed us, this man and his family and his clan, his tribal clan, the Mboshi, and the North Pac, which protected him for over 40 years, and France financed him for over 40 years, financed the civil wars that pushed him to take power from the democratically elected president, President Pascal Lissouba, who was elected in 1992. So since 1997, this man came back, Denis Sassou Nguesso, and killed millions of our people. So we was kind of shocked to see that President Biden, which is kind of different of what we saw with former President Trump, who never didn't wait for the African Union to send him a list of leaders. He decided who he will not meet and who he will not see. But anyway, at the same time, we hear that he let all these people, these leaders come here, which Denis Sassou Nguesso. At the same time, the American media on the internet keep saying that President Biden don't want to meet them one-on-one. So it's basically they're playing both sides of the coin. So we asking ourselves what's going on here.
I just want to make one small comment here.
Yes.
So this is actually, as you can see this picture, we have put this picture everywhere. You will see this picture in Twitter, Facebook, and everywhere. And when you see this picture, it's going to give you what is happening in reality in Africa, knowing the value of the United States of America. On the right side, you have the French president. On the right side here, this side, you have the president of the United States of America, from Jimmy Carter to President Biden today. And on the left side, this side here, you have the French president. So you can see in the middle, you have an entity that called Kongo. You have all the Sassou Nguesso, Lissouba for 5 years, until now you have Sassou Nguesso. But when you see human rights, the condition of human rights, 100% abuse of human rights there, right? There's no freedom of speech, no freedom of thought. Economically, the entity that's called Congo is on the ground, right? They have destroyed that country. So this is somebody who has the hand of, who has the blood of 4 million of the Congo people on his hand. So now the United States is saying, oh no, we will invite them because we went to the African Union. But you know that, well, so the African Union is a union of this dictator, right, to protect them, right? So they will never.
Majority.
So they're protecting each other, right? So it's like somebody's. It's like I'm preparing a wedding with my wife, and then my neighbor will come in, will tell me, okay, this is a list of the people you need to invite. You have to take it, invite them.
Exactly.
That's what the National Security Advisor of President Biden is telling to young Africans like us. This is a kind of, lacking respect to us, like telling us that, okay, you are doing a wedding. This is a list. You have to invite these people, but the wedding is yours. You have to decide whether will come. You will put some criteria that you want to bring in people, right? So the conclusion that we came here is the United States of America want to put aside the value that make them unique, which is the democratic value, freedom of speech, freedom of thought, the protection of human dignity, which is value of human right. So the United States of America has decided to go play the same game that the Chinese, right? Because there is so many criticisms going on between the Chinese, according to their investment in Africa, their relationship with this dictator. So the United States of America is now telling to us, young Africans, who used to believe to them, no, we are not respecting human rights anymore. We'll be dealing with everybody. See, that's a problem. And this is the reason the French are losing the ground in Africa. And now the Americans are being put in the same spot than the French. It's not,
right.
it's not because there is a hate against the French. No, it's about the politics. It's the way of running business or protecting dictatorship. That's what we are rejecting, right? And by going to this decision here, by putting aside the human rights, transparency, freedom of speech, freedom of thought, the United States is playing the same game like different countries like the Chinese. So, and there is also one thing that we have noticed is the diaspora that you have picked to come talk to you, the civil society. These people that you have picked, they don't have any ground within the population right there in Africa. They don't have a support. We're supporting them. We understand because you want probably to have some puppet, some people who are under your control.
Right.
We understand that. Like the same thing that the French have done with President Macron when he did organize Africa-France Summit. He did invite some between civil society who was biased to the French politics ID, the same politics that young Africans are rejecting. Not only one, but millions of young people, 99% of the majority are rejecting. And that's why we can see the French start to cry. Oh no, they are against us, and so on. So we are pretty sure that the French have been put in the same spot as the American people. So you just put yourself in the bucket of, of bad tomatoes by bringing the diaspora that are biased puppet to your ID. No, we do believe that there is a real diaspora, there is a real civil society, and the Congo people was very clear on every conversation we are doing with you guys. And the Congo Federation is a new country. They have a vision and they have put on the table the right solution for the people. And that the kind of people you're supposed to invite on this kind of summit to clearly discuss the way we can run business together. We can protect each other's interests. Exactly. And also we can protect the interests of our people, how we can build Africa with a new leadership, a new vision.
Exactly. Just to piggyback on what brother, the governor of the state of Lekumo and Buenza, Bernard Pungi, is saying, this is where the outrage is for us. So United States are basically punted when it comes to taking the responsibility of letting a bunch of dictators cross the United States border and come to Washington, and they're spending thousands, maybe they may spend maybe millions of dollars here of our people money, of our resources. Now, just to be clear, so there is no confusion, the Republic of Congo people, they call Congolese. The Congo Federation people are called Congo with K. So we are two different people now because of the fact that this dictator who has been supported by France for over 40 years has been rejected by the majority of the native, the autochthon people who own the land and the natural resources. That's why, maybe brother, if you have that, the Congo Federation, the Congo Federation, which used to be half of the Republic of Congo, have rejected Denis Sassou Nguesso, his regime, his political party, PCT, his family, his clan, the Mboshi, and our people have requested that they leave our land and let us ourselves, under the Federal Council of Congo, lead our own people. We have done it with a petition which is the most democratic way a diaspora was able to acquire power from the people to his leadership. We have put a petition almost a year and a half ago, which today have over 34,264 signatures, who represent 2.5 million people of representing that part of what used to be the Republic of Congo, that part which is the Congo Federation now, who represent 106,762 kilometers square. So this part, which used to be half of the Republic of Congo, has rejected Denis Sassou Nguesso Mathurin, has rejected his dictatorship, has rejected France, because we also have cut the contract, the ancestral contract with France, June 7, 2020, by the Kingdom of Luango here, and the four states, the four United States of the Congo Federation have rejected the contract with France the 21st of March 2021. So our people have decided to reject being one country, the Republic of Congo, because of the mediocrity, the civil war, and all the crimes that this family, protected by France, have done for over 4 decades. So this is where we are today. That's why we didn't understood why President Biden and his government, when they announced the U.S. summit, us, the Congo Federation, we went on one of the most powerful campaigns. You can see us all over the Twitter feed, the White House Twitter feed, the Secretary Blinken Twitter feed, the Vice President Twitter feed, the President Biden himself Twitter feed, and all the big leaders, the Congress, the Democrat, the Republican. We attach who we are and what our people have asked for justice, because we're asking for justice because for over 40 decades, we've been marginalized, we've been killed, and now we're asking for some reparation, which start by giving us our land back, because we are the true owners of this land and the true owners of the natural resources that stand here. So we're asking not just for the land, but for the natural resources, so we can build what never been done. So you're seeing, it's showing you the separation with the
That's a separation here.
Exactly.
If you go, you move it, and there is a gap here. It has been done. And our people have to. Our people did approve by the petition. That I wanna bring it here. So you can see what we are talking here. So this information, you can find it everywhere. This video, we can find it in Twitter. It's playing everywhere. Just want to play it back. So I just want to increase the size so we can see that better. This computer is doing some kind of fishy stuff today. I don't know why. So probably you can see that this video is explaining what have been done through this petition here, and this is the kind of short just to show how our people are signing this petition. That's what they're doing. They're signing in online. They can sign online or signing on a paper by sending what we call here petition sheets. Why we create petition sheets is a lot of us, even in our territory, they don't have internet, right? So they don't have internet. Most of our parents in a village, they don't have internet. And the only way to connect us, to connect them with us, is to create a way, because the internet is very difficult to have, or if you want to have it, you need to have more money to pay for. As you know that our territory is being occupied by the Moshi and the leadership of Sassou, who is protected by the French. So they have made internet very expensive, and because of lack of job for our people, it's kind of hard, difficult to afford paying this kind of internet, what we call here data, right? So that's why we came with Congo Intelligentsia. We created petition sheets, and our family are signing it, sending it to us, and we are counting it. So this little commercial that we made is gonna give you how we create, how we are counting the number. And today we have 34,264 Congo people through the chief of family, the chief of the village, the chief of the county, the tribal, the tribal, and they're sending to us. So it's a very organized, right? And a lot of work have been done by our community, the Congo people. They are the owner of the land, the owner of the natural resources, and people like the Mboshi came from overseas, and they have a plan to exterminate us. So right now we are in an emergency, on humanitarian emergency to protect our community. Exactly. A lot of genocide have been committed, but all of this genocide also are being protected by the French. None of you, probably you will hear that, but you cannot be able to know it properly because the French are trying to,
to whitewash
to wipe out every crime that the Sassou Nguesso is doing. We also have some books. I don't know if I can find it. Yeah, I just want to show you. So many books. So many books are being written about the genocide of the Congo people. This is one book here. It's called Genocide of the Lari of Congo, in Congo. And there is another book here. Just want to show you a few books. There is another one here. Right? A lot of books by different writers. War in Congo, Brazzaville. If you read all of books, all of this, there is so many of them, you will find out that the genocide we are talking here, it's a true story. And there is also so many evidence about the videos that can Operation Muebara. And we have all of this here. And so many times we are putting some little section, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, so you can see, you can hear the proof of the crime, the war crime that the French are protecting because the French want Sassou Nguesso Maturin, Sassou Nguesso to stay there in power. Yeah. So our community, these are our land. So we just decided no more because they want to exterminate us. It's better for us to protect our people, the remaining people, to protect the land, and especially to protect the natural resources, because that's where our wealth will come from. Right?
And Brother Bernard is selling off the land too, selling them to Rwanda.
Exactly.
So that's what now the son, because we have to explain that it's escalated. After France, President Macron now, which is the president of France, is supporting this dictator Denis Sassou Nguesso. It's actually worse than that. Now, President Macron tried to come sell his son. And we know President Biden that he came here in the United States to sell you that. We know that. He came here to try to sell to the American government these dictators and his family to stay in power. We know that. We're aware of it. We just want you to know that Denis Sassou Nguesso do not represent the 2.5 million Congo with K of the Congo Federation who have signed to leave the Republic of Congo, and do not represent the 106,762 kilometers square of our land and our natural resources. Just for the history, where the most of the United States multinationals are doing business is on our land. President Biden, the government of the United States, the Senate, and the House, where you're doing business is the land of the Congo Federation. That's why you see us came so strongly against you receiving him here in the United States, because it brings shame to what we have been preaching here in America. And to be very honest, President Biden and the United States government, the House, Senator Schumer, the leader of the Senate, and even Senator McConnell, the minority leader of the Republican Party, to be honest with you, he basically tarnish what you try to defend here at home in the United States. Because I live here now, I'm here with you guys, because you keep beating up now on the Republican Party about democracy, but the Democratic Party, led by President Biden, is the one receiving the most ruthless dictator in the world, in America. They went to the border, they went to Washington, they're in Washington now. They're spending money there, they're spending money on lobbying, they maybe brought some natural resources here to bribe our politicians. We talk about it because us, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we actually made a complaint to the United States border to make sure that when the team of the Republic of Congo are going to come here in America to try to bribe our politicians, to make sure that they don't let them go through with a lot of money, bags of money or gold or any kind of natural resources. Because Mr. Biden, Mr. President, these natural resources come from our land, from the Congo Federation. It's not easy to bribe. It's not easy to bring here in America to go around and spend money on the lobbies. It's not easy money to spend. This is the money come from the natural resources of the 4 states, the state of Nyadi, the state of Lekumu, the state of Bangala, the state of Bwenza, and the kingdom of Luango. Those natural resources belong to the Congo with K people, not to the Congolese. The Congolese, the Republic of Congo, was created by France in 1958. So this deal with France failed our people. It was a mediocre deal because all we got was war, was crime, was poverty. They never developed our land. All it did is took the natural resources, sold them, and you guys play the game with the monetary fund between the debts and all that crazy stuff when our people have not prospered. So United States is in a position now to look at the future, but United States is in a weaker position. We know that because we know that you're trying to catch up with China, who have invested $252 billion in Africa. You're trying to catch up to Russia. We know that because Russia is gaining ground now. The problem is that's not the way to do it, President Biden. Playing that game where Emmanuel Macron come here trying to sell you those dictators so you guys can protect them in power after the majority of people have rejected them is a dangerous game, because now you're going against democracy. So how can you lecture former President Trump and the Republican Party about democracy when the Democratic Party led by President Biden, you do not apply the same democracy to the African people in general, and in particular to the Congo people who have signed, who have decided who their leadership will be, which is us, the Congo Federal Council, who have given us the power to speak on their behalf and to liberate our land of who belong to the autochthon people, to the native people, the Congo with K. Those who came from the empire, the Congo Empire. We are the owner of those lands. So we've been marginalized, excluded, and President Biden, you're about to tomorrow, by what we heard about the schedule, wine and dine these dictators and their wives in Washington. So you basically trying to wash the fact that these people, many of them, which in particular in our case, Denis Sassou Nguesso is the most criminal of the dictator in Africa, with over 4 million people executed, death, poverty included, one of the richest place on earth that God has given us the natural resources, but never beer. So what we're trying to say here is you need to realize to us the mistake that has been made here, because we went on a campaign, we all over Twitter, you received the letters, you received the emails, the Congo Federation, we are everywhere. Every country in the world knows about the 55th country of Africa, because we are dynamic people and because we receive the power from the people. Just like when you got elected in 2020, President Biden, we have made almost a civil war here with the Republican Party. January 6th happened here because former President Trump refused to leave power. We see how Americans have reacted about letting somebody force himself. So you guys are talking about democracy here when it comes to the Republican Party or to former President Trump, but what about the democracy for the Congo people, who are the first in the history of African diaspora who have signed over 264,000 petitions, who represent 2.5 million people of a country, and you're going to act like nothing happened and going to go wine and dine with Denis Sassou Nguesso and his son, because he brought his son, which is one of the biggest criminals also of the Republic of Congo. He has stole more money than we can count, and even had some case here in Miami that was settled. Well, can talk about that.
That was settled. So what they decided with the money laundering that he was involved
Exactly.
by stealing the money coming from the natural resources that belong to the Congo people, which is us. He been buying houses everywhere, property everywhere, with the money that do not belong to him. And also he has made a lot of fraud in the United States of America. And this is coming from the Miami court. Right? When you read the statement coming from the court, the judgment, you will find out that he was bringing a lot of cash with different passport, getting in the United States of America, which is not respecting the United States of America border law. You understand? But all of this, they were a kind of an agreement between them, the money they have paid to the court, and they just let him go. As you can see here, he's been involved everywhere, right? This is one of the video that came from one of the United news. So I'm going to try to play it. Just try to play it. And
one of Africa's poorest countries spent $400,000 on hotel bills in 2 short visits to New York last year. The London Sunday Times says Denis Sassou Nguesso of the Republic of Congo, also known as Congo Brazzaville, stayed twice at the Waldorf Astoria. On one visit, his entourage occupied 44 rooms and ran up a bill of $252,000, some of it spent on pricey champagne and other expensive beverages. More than 70% of the country's 3 million people live off less than $2 per day, despite oil revenues of $2.5 billion in 2006. And last year, the country was given a large debt relief package by the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund because it said it was too poor to meet its financial commitments.
So, as you can see, this game is keep going on every year with the IMF or with the World Bank because of all of these crooks. As you can see here, all of these are the bank accounts that they own everywhere, right? And it's not only Sassou Nguesso's son, but it's the whole system, relatives, family, friends. This is a mafia, a real mafia system. How come? That's where the question is coming from our people. How come all of this has been known. And these are criminals. Even here in Canada, the federal court in Canada recognized the Sassou Nguesso as a criminal organization. This is the court here in Canada, the federal court in Canada. They recognize them as a criminal. This is a justice, like a precedent of justice that the court of Canada has been created. So how come you are letting a criminal getting through your border, get into your country? This guy is killing people with his own hand, Sassou Nguesso. This is known, well known, right? So as you can see, he has brought his son, so he tried to present him to political lobby in Washington, D.C., to some black caucus, right? That's what they're trying to do. They try to use some African-American politician, businessmen, people to try to push this guy. But if you agree on whatever Sassou Nguesso is doing and he's saying, but you have to remember that the land that owns the natural resources belong to us, we call our people. So our people are going through the auto-determination. That's what we have to know. And, the United Nations Chart of Freedom, it should be equal to everybody, right? So it should not be like on auto-determination for Kosovo is different. From the Congo people, you have to put it in their suitcase. You have to understand, right? So if the United States of America, politicians, businessmen, people will be approving one of the most worst criminals, his son, one of the most fifth, right? A real criminal, and pretend to put him in power, but please remember, they don't own the natural resources. The owner of the natural resources are controlling now the natural resources. So this is where we are, right? So this was really a very turning moment from the Congo people to let you know that the auto-determination has been going through the petition. It's not my brother Pirani, it's not me, it's not other brother Kai, not our sister Olga, or our brother Sa Majesté the First and Makoso the Fifth. This is the Congo people. They are signing a petition. So when the people have decided for the future, no one can change that. No one can change that. This is a life. So like you say here, we can see that the United States of America has decided to put aside, right, the human rights, to put aside crime that committed by people, by United States of America want to go to a deal with them. But please remember, we will never sell our dignity with the Congo people, right? We will never allow that. We are seeking for a real justice. The real justice will start by the control of our land, 100%. We'll be controlling our natural resources. We'll be choosing our partner, right? So if you guys in the US, you want to become our partner, that's great. We're going to work together. We're going to see each other's interests. Because you have to understand one thing. We are different than the French. We are the product of North America. We understand politics. We understand businesses. We understand what is your interest. But on the other hand, we understand what you are trying to say here, because you are thinking about your national security. But we, as well as the Congo people, are thinking about the national security. What is the national security of the Congo? Protecting the people, 100% of the people, protecting the land, controlling the natural resources, and seeking the interests, the same that you American people, you are thinking about your interests. Because you are going through this deal, you are now able to shake the head of the devil because you want to go to the deal. The Congo people are also thinking about that. We are ready even to shake the head of the devil to protect 100% of the interests of the Congo people. So You have a vision, we have a vision. Let's make it together. And it's better to deal with the people that own what they have than dealing with people that come to steal and try to eliminate the life of people, killing people, destroying their life. No. And we are very clear on our proposal, and our people, we are standing together with our people. And before I pass to my brother Birangi, please remember, you have received Sassou Nguesso and his son in the United States of America. Is representing the Republic of Congo. Right?
This.
That, yes.
That's
that little entity. Not us. Not the
Not
Congo
us.
people.
That's what
Right?
you represent. When you talk over there, that's what that's what they're talking about.
Exactly.
It's basically like
So
5 states.
what remains to us? We are pretty clear. Everywhere we are going, we are saying that our land is under colonization. Our people are being killed. Our land are being sold. Our natural resources are being, they have been stealing our natural resources. They have destroyed the life of people. So we are under colonization. Now we are looking for a downforce that will allow us to kick them out of that land. And we are pretty clear on that. If you are willing to come with us, let's work together to make it happen. If you want also to make it in peace, please talk to the Sassou Nguesso to get out from our land so that we can prevent any kind of bloodshed of the people.
Exactly.
But we are very clear in that. There is no way, because they create the separation themselves. They have written that on their book. They say this: if we don't go under submission, right?
Submission.
The separation has to happen. That's what they say. So it's clear. I'm pretty sure that you are getting our message properly. I know that my English is not good, but I'm trying, to make you understand, because I'm trying to force myself to talk your language so you can better understand it. Right?
It's good.
Okay, go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to piggyback on what my brother, the governor of the state of Lekumu, and the state of Buenza. He's the governor of these 2 states, and me, I'm the governor of the state of Nyadi. And this is Pangala, is our brother Ejim Kai, which is the governor of the state, with Maman Olga. These 2 of them who lead the state of Pangala. And
I'm going to try to play this little. I'm going to just remove this.
Are you going to introduce? Because I wanted to piggyback first. It's very good to play after I speak.
Go ahead. I'm just looking
so
for
I don't lose my thought. So I want to piggyback on what he said. He says a lot of powerful stuff, and we can hear him and understand him well. I want to just bring to attention of President Biden. President Macron from France rushed here to come sell you these dictators. And we know that he came here to sell you because we have been on a strong campaign for almost 2 years. And France is aware of it. We are everywhere in the social media. So he came here to sell you Denis Sassou Nguesso and Christine Nguesso. We know that. We just want you to understand, as President Macron came to sell you here, talking about, okay, if the United States of America offer, give the opportunity of those African so-called countries, those dictators, to join the G20, it might be a deal where you guys can figure out a way to have Africans go help Ukraine in the war against Russia. I just want you to be very careful with that calculation that we know that was brought to you, because African people, the majority of them, have rebuked France. And I think you can see it. And the reason why we know that you're hesitant to come out strong about the France situations is because of the fiasco that happened with former President Gaddafi. After Gaddafi was killed or took out of power, he created chaos over there in the Sahel. That's why all these countries around African countries have rejected France, and now almost against United States too. And they went and opened the doors to Russia. But President Macron, as he came to you to try to clean up the image of the Denis Sassou Nguesso and Christian Nguesso and all the other dictator of Africa, try to sell you a rotten apple that been rejected by the people of our land. President Macron went on a campaign as you start the summit in the United States on the 13th of December. President Macron on the same 13th started a summit for support of Ukraine. There's no problem about that. The issue is you wanna be the first big voice of support in Ukraine, basically fundraising for Ukraine, because Ukraine now requested $800 million to help them. But who is helping the Congo people who have a determination of 2.5 million people? President Macron, which is the country that created the Republic of Congo in 1958, they're not talking about the people that have been killed and tortured, the people that they left in poverty for over 40 years. To you, you don't come talk about what Sassou Nguesso and his family and his clan did to the Congo people. The Congo, they're not talking about that. But he come to talk about Ukraine. He's fundraising for Ukraine. Who is fundraising for the Congo to liberate us? Why is it that the people of Ukraine are the only ones who have to enjoy the protection of democracy and the rest of the world when we have been killed as much? The dictator Denis Sassou Nguesso is the Adolf Hitler of the Congo people. He has killed over 4 million of us. So there is no difference between what Adolf Hitler have done to the Jews that what Denis Sassou Nguesso had done to the native, the autochthone, the owner of the land and the natural resources. So as Macron is running around campaigning for Ukraine, I think President Biden, you need to ask him the question, why is he not campaigning to liberate the Congo people who have, in their autodetermination, recouped their land and rejected the deal with France? You need to ask him that question. Ukraine are not the only one who are the victim of what you guys call tyranny coming from Russia. That's the way you interpret it. That's the way you put it, you know, internationally. What about us? Why is it that Denis Sassou Nguesso have to have the opportunity to come take pictures, spend money that doesn't belong to them, the natural resources doesn't come from his land? So why is it that they have the opportunity to come here and take pictures and wine and dine with you, President Biden, when President Putin from Russia he sees as the biggest enemy of the world at this moment, or maybe the one of North Korea or Iran? It's a double standard. So Macron want to talk about democracy. France needs to answer about the fact that they have supported the Denis Sassou Nguesso regime for over 40 years. They need to come answer to the rest of the world because we have asked for justice. All our tweets, the most of them, you're going to see the petition and the request of justice by giving back the land, the natural resources, and paying reparation to what has been done to our people with the over 4 million killed. And now they're selling off part of our land to Rwanda. France is in that stuff too. So now they're using Rwanda to try to take some part of our land. They're bringing the Rwanda military, Denis Sassou Nguesso in complicity with France. They're doing all that stuff on our land. Why? So just running around talking about Ukraine, I think we need to have a strong conversation about France and what has been done to the Congo people from the Federation of Congo, not just Ukraine. You cannot come here trying to cry and have everybody else put money for Ukraine when the Congo people have went to the same fate that Ukraine is going to now. Fair is fair. Democracy
Exactly.
is democracy.
So I do believe that the French are playing a game by using African as a shield so that they keep protecting themselves. We do believe that instead of just trying to propose the African spot on the United Nations Security Council or on a G20 summit, you have to start resolving the issue of the currency, which is the franc CFA, that currency that the French are using to destroy the economy of Africa. That's where the problem has to start. The solution has to start right there. Instead of the United States of America coming saying that, okay, we propose in 55 billion to try to solve or helping African countries.
Who's going to give that money to Sassou Nguesso? Who's going to, the most, these people have stolen hundreds of billions of that. You're going to give Assoras. They were talking about 55
Probably
billion.
that's going to be helpful for different African countries that run their own currency, that are very economically very stable, like East African countries. Some of them are very stable, politically stable, financially stable, but most of the ex-French colony that are under that currency that doesn't have any value that we call here franc CFA, that's where the solution has to come from. So the United States of America, when they're talking about economy, they're supposed to talk about that money too, how to get away of that money so they can boost in reality the economy of African countries, which is 14 countries that the French are getting under the hook. They are destroying the life of so many people with that currency. So we do believe that if you are talking about the real solution, the real truth is to start asking the French to get out from Africa by kicking out the military base, kicking out the currency, which is the franc CFA, and then probably the African country will start to breathe, you know. But Macron, instead of talking about the real issue, which is the franc CFA, that currency, is coming to propose a different solution by trying to make African keep being their shield so they can keep protecting themselves. No, we have to change that. I do believe that if right now the French have been rebuked in Africa, kicked out from Africa, it's because of the French politicians. They only think about themselves. They don't think about African. Now, the United States of America is trying to help the French by getting to the same game. And you will notice in the coming day, the rate of the United States of America of losing the ground in Africa will significantly increase. So we have to correct that. Exactly. The only way you can correct that is, first of all, the United States of America has to talk to the real people, right? The people that have the real ground right there in Africa, right? Like the Kongo people, right? So if you bring your money, out of what investment you bring to it, the Sassou Nguesso regime, there is no return of investment of your money. You know that. You can see how much money the Chinese has brought in through between what they have called here infrastructure investment in the Congo. What is the outcome of that? It's a catastrophe. It's a disaster. The whole money was stolen by the Sassou Nguesso regime. They have hide money everywhere. So if you come with your 55 billion and you want to give the Republic of Congo 10 billion, you can give them the money from the ground to the sky. You will never see the progress with these people, right? So, and they have been protected by the French economically because they are all in the same way of corruption, right? Exactly. Money laundering, or protecting every crime. And that's why you can see that there is no job creation, because right now in the summit you are talking about job creation You're talking about a better life, you know. You're talking about good paid job. You will never get the good paid job. Look at the country that's called Congo now. When it rains, it's a catastrophe. They have steal everything. They have destroyed everything. School, they have destroyed everything, right? Healthcare system. So if you really want to be that Europe being trapped by African people, you have to come with a new vision. Unless if you are coming with a same intention, like the French are doing now, right? Try to rob, take, but you don't want to give up, you know. But if you are bringing your investment in a good way, with goodwill, right? You have to come with the right people, the people who have a vision, the people who have a voice, the people who have a ground. And we, as the Congo people, we are big, right? With a big area of territory. We are bigger than Rwanda, bigger than Burundi, bigger than Gambia, bigger than Guinea-Bissau, bigger than Sierra Leone. So many countries right there in Africa. We have all the type of natural resources, and this is a great opportunity. But with a new country, this is a new country. The 55th state in a country in Africa. So if you come in a real business, it's going to be a long-term business. You understand? This is a long-term because we will be building this country together with a new vision, right? Your investment will be secure, 100% secure. The return back of your investment, you will keep getting it, right? That's the truth. So let's work together with this new country, with the blessing of our people, because they are blessed with petition. Let's go together and build this country.
Yeah, to piggyback on what he says when it comes to the economy, the Congo Federal Council, we have a business mindset. You know, you see, just look at the way we build our country. It's been since the October 23rd, 2021. Just look at us. We have a business mindset, because you see, some of us are in Canada, some are in the United States, some are in France. You know, we understand the dynamics of making money. We get that. We get that part about making money. But my message to President Biden and the United States government, making money cannot just be based on cruelty. So if you come to our land and you make money and you make billions of dollars and your multinationals are getting rich, you have to also develop where you're doing business at. You have to respect the native people. That's what the French failed. The reason why France have been torn out of Africa is because France, in their politics and policy, never developed where the Africans are. What we have is war, is civil war, dictators. That's not how you succeed in Africa, because we know the worth of our natural system and our land. We know that Africa is the next frontier in the 21st century where all of us are going to get rich from. It's true. It's a reality. So why you want to get rich yourselves? Why can our people, the native, can get rich too? That's the point that we're making. Because we have observed the last 50 years with France, it's been a disaster for our people. That's why we have rejected that. So United States, we can change courses, like my brother Bernard was saying, the governor of Lekumo and Buenza, he was saying exactly the right thing. We can make it a winnable situation where our people get developed. We need to create a middle class. Our country is based on the economical force to build, to cut poverty in half in 5 years. In the first 5 years, as we after we take back our land, we're trying to get the take back of the land. If we can avoid a war, we're going to avoid a war. We don't need to go to war. But if we have no choice, we will. And we will get whatever the partnership comes from, because our people, the majority of them, give us the power to do so. So America has an opportunity here, not just to get rich. but also be part of the development of the 55th country of Africa, which is a brand new country with a mindset that is pretty close to yours, to be honest with you. Pretty close to yours. I don't think you want to waste all that intellect, all that vision, all that work that we put in place. I don't think you want to take that work and just give it away with other partners like that. I know America has been here a long time. I know you're smarter than that, President Biden. I know your government people are smarter than that. You understand the dynamics. Just change the way you're doing business. You cannot go on that French ride the way they did because they failed. That's why they've been rebuked now. And if you're trying to protect that French ride that they did, you're probably going to end up rejected from Africa. And of course, China going to keep getting bigger over there. And of course, Russia.
Governor Birandi, what the United States of America has to ask himself that question, why the Chinese has grown in Africa?
Exactly.
The Chinese has grown in Africa because of the actual leadership. That's true, right? So you have the same dictators there, and they have make the Chinese grow, right? So now the United States of America is making the same mistakes by trying to work with the same leadership that has grown the Chinese in Africa.
Exactly.
That's an issue there, right? So we do believe that the French, they have failed for so many decades. Probably 65 decades, they have failed. They have think about themselves. So what they have done here is, on top of getting rich, and they also get into violence. You don't need violence to go explore some mineral. You don't need that. You don't need to kill people.
Cruelty.
You don't need to put people in a war.
Cruelty.
Right?
You don't need that. You don't need cruelty.
You need to work with communities. That's the good way of doing that. These are human, right? So they have a brain. They will understand what kind of advantage they will have for themselves, for their kid. What the community need. The community need a great investment, hospital, schools, job, That's where you build people's life. That's where you create the middle class. And that's the same way that West country operates. Because if you don't create a middle class, you just create poor and the rich. Who's going to work for who? There will be lack of confidence on both sides, right? So let make it happen. It's possible to do that, right? And these are intelligent people right there, the Kongo people, very intelligent people.
Yes.
And they know the importance of a company within the community, right? Let's protect that. Let's create a good pension system to protect the job. Let's create school so family can work, and the father and mother will bring food on the family table. They can send their child at school very close. Let's create that community. It's possible. But you need the people have a vision, right? You cannot operate in the same model every time. Let's take this opportunity. This is a real opportunity, a great opportunity.
Exactly.
If you really you wanna grab that opportunity, you have it there. And this is a new country, the Congo Federation, with the young people, visionary young people in the front. And we have our mother, our sister, our brother are with us. We can make it happen and protect each other's interests. This is what our people are looking. Exactly. So we say it clearly, we don't want the Republic of Congo anymore. We don't want the Mosi anymore. If you want to work with them, fine. But please do not prevent us from getting to our goal, which is gaining the control of our land, protecting our people, because we are in a humanitarian emergency here. Right? It has become an emergency.
Human rights situation.
Human, yes. So, and please do not forget, we are the owner of that land. We are autochthon people, Aboriginal people. We are the owners of those land, and we cannot be the victim all the time and coming to us, doing bad stuff, stealing, destroying us. No, enough is enough. I think this is a great time. Let's take that opportunity and move together to a new country. The 55th state in Africa, the Congo Federation, with a great vision, great investment.
Yeah, Brother Bernard, I want to close on the council because I forgot
Go
to
ahead,
talk about that. They bring in the council of diaspora. You got to be very careful here. They want to do a council of diaspora's country, African countries. I urge the United States to, before you put together this council, to look at the diaspora who now historically is the first to have collected over 264,000 signatures from 22 different countries and the motherland to create a new country. So it will be kind of an answer to democracy if the Congo Federation is not called to be part of the council of the diaspora, because we have demonstrated, I think, that we have the mindset and the leadership to connect directly with our people and to protect the rights of our people, and of course to promote democracy, because the Congo Federation is a federal democracy. That's what we are. So I hope that as you put together that council, President Biden and his team, and Secretary Blinken, I hope that you think very hard not to leave the Congo Federation out of it, because we have done something special here in the diaspora who has never been done before. And you need to acknowledge that, because it's a reality. We are the people voice, we are the people power, and that's why we can speak that frankly. And that's why you see us all over Twitter. And we're not hiding. We put our faces, we put our, our videos, we put our pictures. We're not hiding because we know we have the people power, people voice with us. Thank you.
Yeah, so I just want to close this. I want to say this. The Congo Federation has put the land, the people, the natural resources on the hand of God. We believe in God. So, and we do believe that if you're going to come, you will come also with the same vision, the same belief in God, so we can work together and build the new Congo, the Congo Federation, under the protection and the will of our God. Thank you for watching us.
Thank you.
Probably we're going to see you next time. We're supposed to run it in French too, but that's going to be probably tomorrow.
Yeah,
right?
tomorrow we're going to talk about it.
Let's do it tomorrow. So sorry for the French. We will try to do it tomorrow. We wanted to make it short in English, but we will come back tomorrow and we're going to do it in the French.
Exactly.
Thank you for watching us, and you know how to contact us. We are everywhere: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. You know how to find us. Let's work it happen. Let's make it happen.
Exactly.
We are ready. Thank you.
God bless the Congo Federation, and God bless United States of America. Thank you.
Exactly. See you.